Extreme influencing is usually discussed as though it's a recent problem. People point at Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and whatever app was invented 5 minutes ago by venture capitalists who believe human attention is an underutilized natural resource. But influencing didn't begin with social media. Social media is simply where it achieved consciousness. Human beings have been influencing each other for billions of years. The first influencer was probably a caveman. He had a rock. He liked his rock. And then his tribe all of a sudden wanted rocks as well. One got a bigger rock. One got a decorated rock. And then before long, the tribe was comparing their rocks. Well, a guy in the corner quietly invented agriculture and received absolutely no attention whatsoever. Civilization itself might just be a series of increasingly sophisticated influencer campaigns. Kings understood this. Emperors, religions. Why conquer one village when you can conquer people's imagination? Julius Caesar didn't just invade territories, he invaded attention. Every statue, coin, monument essentially said the same thing. Have you heard about Julius Caesar? The answer is usually, of course. Modern influencers spend years trying to build a personal brand. Caesar skipped that step and simply built one. Then came the printing press. People often describe it as a tool that democratized knowledge, which is true. It also democratized nonsense. For the first time in history, someone could confidently spread incorrect information to people they had never met. Humanity immediately looked at this incredible technology breakthrough and said, what if we used it to stir an argument? The internet would later continue this proud tradition. A few centuries later, Edward Bernays arrived. Bernays looked at psychology the way a raccoon looks at an unlocked garbage can. Most people see human emotions and think, how fascinating. Bernard saw human emotions and thought, how profitable. His great discovery was that people rarely buy products. They buy stories about themselves or who they want to be. Nobody purchases a luxury watch because they need to know what time it is. Time is literally floating everywhere. Nobody buys a $100 water bottle because they're thirsty. A garden hose solves that issue for considerably less amount of money. People buy symbols and status and identity and tiny portable monuments to the fantasy versions of themselves. Social media took this principle and injected it directly into the bloodstream of civilization. Now every object has a personality. Water bottles have fan bases. Coffee mugs have lore. Journals have communities. Protein powder has ideology. There are currently people engaged in heated online debates over hydration accessories. If you had explained this to Aristotle, he would have voluntarily walked into the sea. Then something truly bizarre happened. Influencing escaped products entirely. People became the products. Every human being was suddenly handed a broadcasting station and told to transform their existence into an entertainment franchise. Having breakfast was no longer enough. Now breakfast required content. Walking your dog required content. Going for a run required content. Experiencing joy required 15 different angles. At some point, humanity accidentally transformed life into a behind-the-scenes documentary about itself. The strangest part is that nobody officially announced this. There was no meeting, no vote, no declaration. One day, people were simply living. The next day, they were curating. I have tastes. Now, millions of people spend their lives managing public relation campaigns for versions of themselves that don't actually exist. The algorithms accelerated everything. At least previously, gods demanded reasonable sacrifices. Goats, throw in some grain, maybe a ceremonial dance. The algorithm demands constant offerings. Videos and photos and opinions, reactions, engagement. The ancient world had priests interpreting divine messages from smoke. Modern society has consultants explaining why your thumbnail underperformed. Nobody knows how the machine works. Nobody knows what it wants. Yet millions of people spend their entire day attempting to please it. It has become the world's first religion where every sacred text immediately becomes outdated. The commandments change hourly. The prophets are sponsored. The miracles are engagement spikes. The afterlife is the For You page. What's fascinating is that influencing no longer ends when you close the app. The logic has escaped into reality. Restaurants are designed for photographs, selfies, or portraits back in the day. Entire cities are slowly being redesigned around photographs, videos. There are places where people wait in line for 3 to 4 hours to take the same picture as the previous 3,000 people before them. They travel across continents to recreate evidence that somewhere else already existed there. Tourism has become a photocopying machine. And still the machine hungers. Artificial intelligence is now learning to generate influencers. Soon, virtual influencers will recommend products curated by other virtual influencers to audiences partially composed of bots. The advertisement, the influencers, and the engagement will be fake. The products might be fake. And somehow the quarterly earnings will still be real. Meanwhile, actual human beings will be standing in their kitchens trying to remember why they opened the refrigerator. Perhaps that's the final stage of extreme influencing. Not where everyone becomes famous, not when everyone becomes content or content, but when reality itself begins behaving like an influencer. Your refrigerator will post productivity tips. Your toaster will launch a podcast. Your socks will announce a rebrand. Your houseplants will monetize authenticity. And your mailbox will have a newsletter. And somewhere deep inside a warehouse filled with blinking servers and fans, an algorithm will continue to promote a 12-second video titled Top 5 Types of Air Ranked by Flavor to 80 billion people. Future archaeologists will uncover the ruins of our civilization and conclude that we possess unlimited information, global communication, advanced artificial intelligence, space exploration technology, and near instant access to all human knowledge. And for reasons that remain completely mysterious, we decided most of it to convincing strangers that we are having an exceptional Wednesday.